I don't know what kind of an impression he's making in Paris and Hanoi, but Henry Kissinger is certainly a very big man in Wall Street. It seems that every time Kissinger packs his bag, the stock market posts a gain. He goes to Paris, and investors go berserk. They watch his movements with the greedy fascination normally extended only to a stripper. To Wall Street, a smiling negotiator is like a melody, and every little movement has a meaning all its own. It's pretty obvious what it's all about, though it must be confusing to communist theorists. What it's all about is peace, for which Kissinger is striving and the stock market is hoping. There's nothing like a little hint that the Vietnamese War may finally be ending to bolster spirits and prices throughout the financial community. The confusion in communist minds stems from the teachings of Karl Marx, who, among other errors, concluded firmly that the key to all capitalist economies lay in the waging of war. Hence, his disciples traditionally have lashed out at what they called the warmongers of Wall Street, and the notion that munitions and profits were inextricably intertwined is still a prominent tenet of the Marxist code. The truth is more pleasant for those who have had enough of war in this century. The record shows clearly that peace is good for business, and that the American economy looks most impressive when its resources are not being distorted into a wartime mold. The U.S. had a strong period of non-inflationary growth from 1958 to 1965, when the Vietnam escalation began, and the economy has not been functioning as impressively since then. The slow winding down of the Vietnam War should minimize even the short-range problems that usually accompany a ceasefire. So peace would, in Wall Street's term, be extremely bullish. The news might also serve to refocus the attention of investors on the strong gains already being made in most of the economy. For the peacemongers of Wall Street, Henry Kissinger's luggage looks like a very good investment. I'm Louis Rukeyser, ABC News, New York, and this has been Rukeyser's World on the American Information Radio Network.
Oh, you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more. The last time was the last time, and this time it's for sure. The next sound that you hear will be the slamming of the door. And you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more. Well, I jumped when you whistled, and I danced when you sang. I must have looked as silly as a puppet on a string. And for my last performance, I'm gonna vanish through the door. And you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more. Oh, you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more. The last time was the last time, and this time it's for sure. The next sound that you hear will be the slamming of the door. And you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more. Undying, that it lives on and on. Well, if that's really true, it's gonna live after I'm gone. Wild horses couldn't hold me here, this time is really it. So if you want that one last kick, you better make it quick. 'Cause you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more. The last time was the last time, and this time it's for sure. The next sound that you hear will be the slamming of the door. And you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more. No, you ain't gonna have old buck to kick around no more.
You're not going to be able to kick old Buck around no more. Buckhorns from the Scenic Sound Survey. And I might mention that if you'd like to know what's on the survey, you can pick up a survey sheet at West Park Records, Broadway Record Shop, Esquire Restaurant, Arena Cafe, Western Cafe, and the War Bonnet Inn.
Vote for Norman Mills, Republican, for state representative.
Hello, I'm Norman Mills. The spiraling cost of state government must be controlled through efficient financial management.
Norman Mills, Republican for Economy. Political advertising paid for by Yellowstone County Republican Central Committee, Colvin Agnew, Chairman.
You may think you've got a perfect reason to hurt me so and never show your feelings. You're careless with your words like I love you, leaving me to guess away the blues. I don't think it's right, the things you're doing, to tell me one thing, then go right straight to it, then saying all the time you love me true, leaving me to guess away the blues. Leaving me to guess away the blues. Trying to pretend I don't know. Leaving me to guess away the blues. Trying to pretend my tears don't show. I wonder if you know these things I'm seeing, or if you care if I go on believing. You're saying all the time you love me true, leaving me to guess away the blues. I'm seeing, or if you care if I go on believing. You're saying all the time you love me true, leaving me to guess away the blues, then leaving me to guess away the blues.
Leaving me to guess away those blues, from Don Gibson.
Big D Oil brings you 5 new Gulf stations at 1224 North 27th, 3400 First Avenue North, 24th and Broadwater, 24th and Grand, and 901 Broadwater. And at every Gulf station in Billings and Laurel, you can get a 20 to 49 cent item for just 9 cents. Some of the items are 3 packs of gum, glass tankard mugs, paper towels, and aluminum foil. And remember, Gulf dealers like people. They'll try to reach your car in 10 seconds. Gulf products are distributed by the Big D Oil Company.
5 minutes away from 7 o'clock, a look at news from ABC at 7 on KBMY. The outside, 45 degrees, going for a low tonight, somewhere between 30 and 35. Well, that's tomorrow night. 23 to 28 tonight to get things where we want them, weather-wise. Goodell Davis, a program on nutrition, is brought to you on Scenic Sound KBMY Billings at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. From the Scenic Sound, Lefty Frizzell.
Sometimes this old world's a drag, it really pulls me down. I tried so hard, but nothing comes around. Then I wake up and see that I have no reason to be blue. I've already found the whole wide world with you.
nothing else I'd do but spend my whole life through loving you, babe. You, babe. I'll always be in command, just as long as I'm the man loving you, babe. You, babe. And I can stand real tall and stand up to it all just for you, baby, just you. This old rocky road of life was just too tough. I felt like saying, Lord, I've had enough. Then I heard something special that a deaf man couldn't miss. I heard it in the whisper of your kiss. If there's nothing else I do but spend my whole life through loving you, babe. You, babe. I'll always be in command, just as long as I'm the man loving you, babe. You, babe. And I can stand real tall and stand up to it all loving you, just you. You, babe. You, babe.
Music from Lefty Frizzell. It's called Lovin' You, Babe. Music from the Scenic Sound Survey as we come up on 7 o'clock, just 1 minute away from news. Stay tuned following the news for much more music. Much more country music from the big brand, Radio 124 KBMY in Billings. If you enjoy the heritage of the West, you're in the right place. KBMY in Billings, on the right side of your radio dial. The West and the Midland Empire have beauty hard to find anywhere in the world. Our big sky sunsets, our wide open spaces, forests, lakes, and of course just next door, the awesome beauty in Yellowstone Park. Enjoy all this, a little bit more, with the scenic sound of KBMY in Billings.
On the Hour from American Information Radio. This is Richard Wall from Los Angeles, and at this hour, the 92nd Congress is history. ABC correspondent Duff Thomas reports from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Carl Albert brought the gavel down for the last time in the 92nd session and adjourned sine die, a parliamentary term that in Latin literally means without day, passed down through history from the Roman Senate. The 92nd Congress did battle with President Nixon right up to the final hours here in the Capitol, overriding his veto of the Clean Water Bill and giving him no power over budget cuts. A bill to extend highway construction funds was killed in the House in the final moments when the House failed to get a quorum on it. So now most of these members are going home to campaign, hoping to be back in January for the 93rd Congress. Duff Thomas, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
The White House on political spying, that story coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, General Motors Acceptance Corporation, GMAC, would like you to listen in on a conversation in a GM dealer's showroom where a man is about to buy a new car.
Well, what do you think?
Fine. I'll take it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, GMAC would like you to listen in as that same man has his new GM car financed.
Well, what do you think?
Fine. I'll take it. If it sounds as though he didn't move from the place he did the buying to the place he did the financing, it's because he didn't. You see, the showroom of a Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Opel, Cadillac, or GMC truck dealer who uses GMAC doubles as a finance office because he can arrange everything right there. He can arrange to finance your car, car insurance, and creditor life insurance under his GMAC plan at reasonable cost and terms to fit your budget with considerate treatment should your circumstances change. GMAC Financing. We uncomplicate things.
There's a response to reports of White House involvement in political sabotage. We asked ABC's Tom Jarrell at the White House about it.
Well, 4 days after the charges first surfaced, it's finally denied here by a presidential spokesman that anyone currently associated with the White House directed any sabotage operation. However, White House News Secretary Ron Ziegler refuses to respond to specific charges of White House involvement, saying he has no intention of investigating the case for inquisitive newsmen. Ziegler won't, for example, bother to ask a top presidential aide if he did or did not have frequent telephone contacts with an organizer of an alleged sabotage ring.
And ABC correspondent Gerald said Ziegler told reporters anyone involved in political spying or sabotage would not be at the White House long. Vice President Spiro Agnew ran into some hecklers at Calvin College in Grand Rapids, Michigan. ABC News was there as Agnew responded to the critics.
I do think that the idea of mass chanting, of slogans, of refusing to hear another point of view is completely incompatible with an intellectual environment. And I believe it comes from a feeling of inadequacy on the part of those people to argue anything on the merits.
In his speech, Vice President Agnew sharply criticized court-ordered busing for school integration. Bad weather has grounded most of the search planes in southern Alaska, where Congressman Hale Boggs and Nick Begich and 2 other men are still missing. A ground party has reached Portage Pass, 30 miles from Anchorage, where Boggs' plane was last reported. A report from Chile says Marines shot and killed a curfew violator tonight in Valparaiso. More than 50 people have been arrested for curfew violations in Chile. There were more street battles during the day in Santiago. The British Army reports more trouble with Protestant crowds and IRA gunmen tonight in Northern Ireland. Earlier, a militant Protestant group said in Belfast it was calling off its war with the British. The U.S. and the Soviet Union have signed a new trade agreement in Washington, including a settlement of the Russian debts from Lend-Lease in World War II. The agreement's expected to triple the U.S.-Soviet trade volume over the next 3 years. This is Information Radio News. Henry Kissinger will open his Saigon talks with South Vietnam's President Thieu within the next couple hours. Officials in Washington say there's been what's called significant but not conclusive movement in the peace talks on Vietnam. Hanoi's people in Paris say up to this day the Vietnamese problem has not been settled. Senator John Stennis has asked Defense Secretary Melvin Laird what's been done to prevent any more unauthorized air raids on North Vietnam. In a letter to Laird, Stennis says the matter is by no means closed. I'm Richard Wall, Los Angeles, and that's the news. Hear news of the hour, on the hour, throughout the day from American Information Radio. A service of ABC News.
Visit the all-new Cocoa Club, the Businessman's Retreat, featuring Billings' finest piano bar. Ozzy Osbourne entertains every night but Sunday at the Cocoa Club, 1223 Grand, across from Buttrey's Shopping Center.
Local forecast, fair through Thursday and Friday. Warming trend Thursday and Friday. Lows tonight 23 to 28. High Thursday 58 to 63. Low Thursday night 30 to 35. High Friday 65 to 70. Chance of measurable precipitation less than 10% through Thursday night.
In Billings at 5 1/2 minutes past 7 o'clock on a Wednesday evening, 45 degrees.
It's easy to make your home look terrific when you shop at Hauser Home Center. It's easy because of the good selection and the prices are low. Hauser Home Center carries carpet, paint, tile, linoleum, and furniture. You'll like the selection, and most of all, you'll like the great buys in every department. It's easy to make your home look terrific when you shop first at Hauser Home Center, 1425 Broadwater, where there's plenty of free parking.
Call it Country County Fair from the Music City Sounds on a Wednesday evening.
Of the issues facing Montana, none is more pressing than taxes. Lieutenant Governor Tom Judge.
4 years ago, the people of Montana handed government a mandate. Stop the rising costs of government. Stop increasing taxes. The time has come to tell you where we are. I can announce that for the first time in a decade, Montana will not have to impose the 2 mil statewide property tax for the biennium. In the coming 2 years, state government can function with no tax increase. This also for the first time in a decade. A number of factors make this announcement possible. With the growing economy, our tax base has grown. Executive reorganization and modern management is saving money. But more than anything, you, the people, have made it possible by supporting reforms. The job is not finished. I'm convinced we can do even better with your continued support.
Paid for by Judge for Governor Club Sid Armstrong, Secretary.
The wheel of fortune goes spinning around, where the arrow points my way. Will this be my day? Oh, wheel of fortune, please don't pass me
of Fortune, music from Susan Ray.
Feature 5.
For contemporary life, some inspiring words for today from the Living Bible.
My prayer for you is that you will overflow more and more with love for others, and at the same time keep on growing in spiritual knowledge and insight, for I want you always to see clearly the difference between right and wrong. May you always be doing those good, kind things that go along with being a child of God, for this will bring much praise and glory to the Lord. Always be full of joy in the Lord. If you do this, you will experience God's peace, which is far more wonderful than the human mind can understand. His peace will keep your thoughts and your hearts quiet and at rest as you trust in Christ Jesus.
These words have been read from the Living Bible, a modern paraphrase of the Word of God, and brought to you as a public service by this station and the Radio Television Commission of the Southern Baptist Convention.
Dickie Lee, I Saw My Lady. That's Dickie Lee from KBMY on a Wednesday evening. He says, I saw my lady down by the river yesterday.
The Frontier Club at 1106 Broadwater proudly presents Skip Foreman and Jill Verdell. Now, they're just back from an extensive tour of the Far East and Vietnam. For your listening and dancing pleasure, with the tops in country comedy and songs, they're backed up by the sensational country music, etc. With Bob on lead guitar and steel, Buff on bass, and Chuck on drums. So for fine food, your favorite cocktails, and live music 7 nights a week plus Sunday afternoons, visit the Frontier Club, 1106 Broadwater.
I see the town where we were born. I see the place we were raised. I see all the things you wanted that I never gave. I see sadness, I see sorrow see now where you might grow tired of dreams that don't come true. I can see where I have fallen short of the things I promised you. I can see now through my tear-filled eyes, no love on your face, but I just can't see a stranger in my place.
And I just can't see that stranger in my place. It's music from Anne Murray.
Don't fire your secretary if your phone rings and rings and rings. Secretaries are nice people. They are intelligent, efficient, and industrious. But sometimes they need to be away from the phone. And sometimes they're so overworked, they need a little help. If this is a problem in your office, Answering by Birkin can help you. A telephone secretary will take your calls and your callers' messages as you specify. Give your secretary some help from Answering by Birkin, 117 North 27th.
I'm Harry Reasoner, ABC News New York, with the Reasoner Report for American Information Radio. I'll talk about four-letter words in just a moment.
Sometimes it's hard to get used to it, but change is a way of life today. Old rules are being broken down. Traditional situations are reversing. And it just may be time for you to call a life insurance agent for a change. Not just any agent, but your man from Sun Life of Canada. You see, Sun Life of Canada is one of the largest life insurance companies in the world, and getting more and more important here in the United States. Because the same life insurance ideas that made us famous internationally are putting us in terrific demand here. And sometimes there just aren't enough of us to go around. So we know it's a little unusual, but maybe this is one time you should call a life insurance man. Your man from Sun Life of Canada. To reach him, call toll-free 800-225-1781. In Massachusetts, call 800-882-1641. Available in 45 states.
Well, now they've done it, and I hope the Oxford English Dictionary people are happy and satisfied. I guess that every kid at some time or another has heard someone use a four-letter word, and after turning it over in his little mind, gone to the dictionary to look it up, only to be frustrated by finding a definition made up of strange big words that seem to say less and confuse more, if indeed the word he was looking for could be found at all. How many times have you, yes you, thumbed through the big dictionary in the back of the classroom or in the school library for certain words, pretending all the time to be looking up the meaning of fundamentalism or conciliatory? I'm sure you've all heard what has happened. No longer can we look to the dictionary people to be the vanguard of American morality, saving us all from knowing the meaning of all those four-letter words. The Oxford English Dictionary now contains four-letter words for the first time, their press release says. Well, I should hope so. Their theory, or cop-out, if you will, is that if a word is a word, then it must have a definition. And if one is in the dictionary dodge, it is beholden to you to spell and define the word. An argument, I fear, that would have caused coronary arrest to third-grade teachers of a generation ago. I wonder if the Oxford Dictionary people had the same visions I had when they decided to go ahead with the four-letter word policy. Visions of sub-teenage little boys, mouths set in a snigger, trooping into Brentano's or Doubleday's bookstores, furtively seeking out the dictionary section. As a sales hypo, a merchandising aid, the new dictionaries are stacked next to the National Geographic annuals and the reprints of the girdle sections of the Sears Roebuck catalogs of 1930. Of course, there's a sign that warns the kids that no one under 21 would be allowed to browse in the dictionary section, but the kids would ignore it. They wouldn't find anything they couldn't find in some of our modern women's magazines, but they would know what the words meant. I must say, however, that I have never seen a more tastefully written press release. Well, of course, the release doesn't say what words, ancient or otherwise, are included, but we can guess when they suggest that a word for lovemaking is a transitive verb and traces its earliest written use to a 16th century Scottish poet named Dunbar. We all know about old Dunbar. The information we received said that this word was among a wide range of other colloquial and coarse expressions referring to sexual and other body functions. Then they come out and say that the Oxford English Dictionary people did not necessarily sanction the use of vulgarisms.
You can see how things are going by that statement alone. Did not necessarily sanction the use of vulgarisms. Well, the words are there now. The mystery will be gone, and little kids will know what they're calling each other. A pity. I'll be back with a closing note after this.
It's that time of year again.
Trick or treat! Trick or treat!
And here's a good idea for trick or treat. Give them Wrigley's gum. It's a nice, neat treat. Each stick is individually wrapped. Wholesome, too. Chewing gum can't spoil young appetites. Wrigley's gum is the kind of treat you'd like your own youngsters to bring home. That's why it's a good idea at Halloween to bring home plenty of Wrigley's spearmint and double mint and juicy fruit gum.
Like many another book with dirty words in it, the Oxford English Dictionary is quite expensive. It sells for $50. But some kids have that kind of money. Gee whiz, what's the country coming to? I'm Harry Reasoner, ABC News New York, and this has been the Reasoner Report on American Information Radio.
Hi there, we're the Burger family from A&W. I'm Papa Burger.
I'm Mama Burger.
I'm Teen Burger.
And I'm Baby Burger.
Oh, we're
the Burger family from A&W.
With my 2 ground beef patties, you get a lot to chew.
Now I'm the perfect size for the
Tuesday. Today, the Japanese visited the State Grain Laboratory and the Montana Grain Terminal Association's headquarters in Great Falls. The stagnant air situation that has plagued western Montana for 3 days has improved at higher elevations this afternoon. As a result, the U.S. Forest Service allowed limited burning of slash in the back country. In Helena, an official of the state's Air Quality Bureau said burning permits were again valid in the Helena and Bozeman areas, but he said open burning remains temporarily curtailed in Montana west of the Continental Divide. First witnesses on the second day of the murder trial of Roby Hatfield were the Billings police officers who helped on the case. The 66-year-old Hatfield is charged in the shooting last April 9th of 42-year-old James McMillan of Billings. In opening remarks as the trial began yesterday, the defense lawyer said Hatfield would make no attempt to deny that he shot McMillan. A jury of 4 men and 8 women is hearing the case in Yellowstone County District Court. And that's the news scene. Rockwell Smith reporting.
Forecast, fair through Thursday and Friday. Warming trend Thursday and Friday. Lows tonight 23 to 28. High Thursday 58 to 63. Lows Thursday night 30 to 35. Highs Friday 65 to 70. Chance of measurable precipitation less than 10% through Thursday night.
In Billings, 31 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock, we have 42 degrees. Piano Boogie from Jerry Smith on KBMY.
It makes good sense to team up with a pro. Al Meyer, the alignment pro at Silent Night, follows through for you. He gives your car a free front-end checkup. In minutes, he spots the trouble. Your car is professionally treated to a wheel alignment to correct the problems. The name of the game is teamwork at Silent Night Muffler and Alignment. So you'll know the score when you stop at Silent Night next to Buttrey's on 12th Street West.
Always there each time I needed you, holding on to me like I held on to you. We still don't have what you and I once had. No, it's not love, but it's not bad. No, it's not love, not like ours was. It's not love, but it keeps love from driving me mad. And I don't have to wonder who she's had. But it's not bad. I turn to her when you leave me alone. Sometimes even when you're here and you're still gone. She's slowly changing what you leave so sad. No, it's not love, but it's not bad. No, it's not love, not like ours was. It's not love, but it keeps love from driving me mad. I don't have to wonder who she's had. No, it's not love, but it's not bad. No, it's not love, not like ours was. It's not love, but it keeps love from driving me mad. And I don't have to wonder who she's had. No, it's not love, but it's not bad.
Merle Haggard, he says it's not love, but it's not bad.
People make news on KBMY every day.
State government. I enjoy the challenge.
Hear the news as it happens on KBMY, the scenic sound of Billings.
If he wants to have a little fun with friends, let him have it. If he needs a little money he can spend, let him have it. But if you find that friends are the kind that wear the many skirts and peroxide hair, and you sense a little bit of hanky-panky there, let him have it. Every man's gotta have a little bit of freedom, but when some see opportunity, they're gonna grab it. The only way to make him know he really doesn't need him is when you know it's love that he's thinking when you know it's love that he's thinking of, let him have it. Oh, when you know it's love that he's thinking of, let him have it.
Music from Jan Howard, and when you know it's love he's thinking of, just let him have it.
Security West, Billings' newest and most convenient drive-in bank, and today we're talking with
John Kent.
John, why do you bank at Security West?
Well, Dan, I find the accessibility to the bank extremely easy from several locations throughout town. We live away from the core city. This is the fastest bank that I can get to in order to get my banking done. That's why.
Real good. Thank you, John. Security West, Billings' newest and most convenient drive-in bank at 31st and 3rd Avenue North.
He'll be coming down the road at the break of day, his hat thrown back and his guns tied low. He's coming after Jenny, wants to take her away, but I ain't gonna let her go. He boasted in town that she loved him. He said she'd be his with the sun. He said any man tried to stop him would be just one more notch on his gun. They say that his head's strong and handsome. His hair's blowing wild and free. And they got a whole lot in common, 'cause he's a lot younger than me. He'll be coming down the road at the break of day, his hat thrown back and his gun tied low. Coming after Jenny, wants to take her away, but I ain't gonna let her go. He hadn't had much education. He ain't worked a day in his life, and he's living with some older woman. And they say that she's another man's wife, and she wants him, needs him, and loves him. She buys him his clothes and his meals. And when she finds he's gone, she'll be brave. And Lord, I know just how she feels, 'cause he's coming down the road at the break of day, his hat thrown back and his guns tied low. Coming after Jenny, wants to take her away, but I ain't gonna let her go. The sun's at his back, and he's coming, and his smile is curling his lip, and his right hand is slowly descending to the 6-gun that rests on his hip. And then his lower lip started trembling, and he started crying as he looked up at me. And I picked him up and I said, "Son, you're only 4 years old, and you know that Jenny's only 3. So come on in the house and have some cookies and milk." And we did, and the tears turned to smiles. And I called up his mama, and I drove him on home, and Jenny's safe, at least for a little while.
John Laws, and he'll be coming after Jenny. 16 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Stay tuned for Edward P. Morgan next on KBMY. I'd like to remind you first, however, that the Oaks will have a Halloween masquerade dance Friday, October 20th in the Moose Hall at 8 p.m. Those not wearing masks will pay a small fine. There's a small admission charge also, and the refreshments will be served.
This is Edward P. Morgan, ABC News, Jakarta, Indonesia, with the shape of one man's opinion.